ABC News political analyst, joins us. Trey, lots of news around town. Let's get right to it. First off, some bad news from Hillary. We've got the email scandal and the Benghazi scandal, both sort of hitting it today. Let's first talk this email scandal. How big of an issue is this, and how much is this going to hurt her going forward?
Well, it doesn't seem like it's hurt her to this point. And I would say with both issues, the email and the Benghazi element, it's almost like the Republicans just have one more shot here with these. And if they're not going to stick now, they're not going to stick through the rest of the campaign, and they ought to just abandon them and not make it kind of a central part of their campaign. I think obviously there's certain audiences you will continue to beat that drum on, but if they don't stick after the report coming out today on Benghazi and these latest concerns about the more emails coming out, then they need to move on. That may be frustrating for a lot of Republicans to hear, but it's just, it's reality, and the worst thing they can do is waste time and beat their head against the wall. So we'll see. I still think that it's a vibrant issue. I still think that it is something that she's going to have to deal with particularly with independent voters, which are increasing in this country. But again, as I said, if it doesn't stick this time, it's not going to.
Yeah, one of the benefits I guess she has in both of these stories is that it's not a simple story to explain. It's very convoluted. What she did, when she did it, how she did it. Which sort of doesn't help in the sort of PR of both those stories.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, majority of people in this country do believe that, the buck stops here kind of mentality, and that someone ultimately has to make a decision. And on the Benghazi front, certainly the movie coming out doesn't help. Some of the specifics that we're going to learn in the report that are starting to leak out a little early are not going to help. I mean, it really, what it is, it's an example of, government at its worst, bureaucracy at its height, and she was leading that government and bureaucratic play that evening. And whether she was the one making the decisions on the ground or she was the one working at the CIA, it's really irrelevant. She had a post there, and it was not protected. And 4 Americans who were serving their country died unnecessarily.
Yeah. Let's talk. Yesterday, she went out on the campaign trail with Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren, I guess her current job is attack dog. And Donald Trump attacked Elizabeth Warren all day long. He took his eye off the ball. Attack Hillary. Don't attack the attack dog.
Well, it's so commonplace for him. I mean, I think you and I even talked last week about, oh man, maybe we're seeing a different, new, more mature, polished Donald Trump now that some of the big boys are in there running his campaign, and in terms of him giving teleprompted speeches and not taking the bait. But if you recall, I said that it's not sustainable for him. He's too reactive on Twitter. He's too reactive almost on a hourly basis. And it's, when you're explaining, when you're defending, when you're reacting, it's not a good position to be in. It means you're on defense the whole time, and it's just another example why Hillary may seem like she has him on the ropes. I mean, you're exactly right. It's just why make Elizabeth Warren the focal point of this? It only would help or elevate Hillary Clinton, but I personally don't see what Elizabeth Warren gives Hillary Clinton if we're talking about her on the ticket. I don't see what addition or value she adds to that ticket. I don't think Hillary Clinton needs another woman on the ticket. I think it would dilute the brand that she's already built and the history that she's running on. And frankly, there are a lot of angry older white males around the country that already have an issue with a woman being president. So I think she's got to balance it with a male. And probably would be in her best interest to balance it with a little bit more liberal male and possibly a Hispanic male.
Yeah, that's interesting. I agree with you on the Elizabeth Warren. I think she should probably go a little more conservative male, but you can argue pros and cons on all of that all the way around. Trey Harden, ABC News political analyst. By the way, your Washington Nationals are starting to run away with the National League East, by the way.
Well, they lost 7 in a row, and they finally just came back and won. But we're still anticipating that Cardinal National showdown.
There you go. Trey Harden, have a good week. Thanks for checking in.
You too, buddy. Take care.
626, Big 550.